Okay, there we go. YouTube is live. And just got to get the TikTok stream up. Won't be a second. There we go. Pop that up there. Adjust the window if I can. That'll do. And we're ready. Okay, hello. Hi Dagger, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. We're back with Farming Sim. I'll tell you more in just a minute. But hello everyone. Hi, how are you doing? Happy Friday. Hope you've had a great week. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We're still a bit early, but we'll get started anyway. So, hello everyone. Welcome back to Farm Sim Friday. It's going to be, should be a good stream today. Sorry about that. Let me start again. Welcome. I've got a hair on my face, I think. There we go. I don't know, I just keep feeling it brushing against my cheek. Anyway, welcome back to Farm Sim Friday. Welcome back to Moss Valley. I'm going to go ahead and load in right now, but welcome back once again for episode 4/5, depending on where you start counting from. Welcome back to episode 4 or 5 of Farm Sim Friday on Moss Valley. Very excited to get back into this one today. I've done a little bit of work off camera to make sure that everything's ready for today's stream, and it should go quite smoothly, so fingers crossed. And obviously, as usual for Farm Sim Friday, it promises to be a very busy stream. I don't know what it is about Farm Sim Friday, but it attracts so many viewers. The other streams that I do tend to be quite small, but Farm Sim Friday always goes really big. It always explodes in view count. So I'm guessing today's probably going to be the same. We've already got 72 people here right now, so hello everyone. And we're in. Okay, off to a quick start. Let me know if you can see and hear the game alright. Let me know if you can see and hear me alright. And if you can, we will get right into it. Had a good day, says STFC. Good, STFC. Glad to hear it. My day's been pretty good as well. Like I say, I've done a little bit of prep work today, which we'll go and take a look at in just a moment. Because there were a few things that needed just cleaning up a little bit off camera. But in other news, before we go any further, actually, I just want to quickly mention that we have got a few new mods, in-game mods, I mean. Not mods as in moderators. We got a few new mods in the pack. A couple of quality of life things, a few new pieces of equipment as well. We'll hopefully get to see some of them in action later. We got a few more retro tractors, as you can see down here, which we'll look into later. But yeah, a couple of quality of life things as well. One of the biggest changes is we have this mod called Task List. So what this mod does is it allows you to basically write in-game notes to keep track of what needs to be done. And I thought it'd be a useful thing to do, you know, just to make sure we're managing things, because I did notice that in the last stream we were supposed to sell the wheat, and I forgot to do that. And now we're past the optimal selling point for wheat. If we have a quick look here. Oh, there it is. You can see wheat, the best selling time for wheat is December, so we should have sold it in the last stream, but I forgot to do that, so now the price is going to be suboptimal. So I thought this mod would help to keep track, and we can make sure that I'm actually doing everything that needs to be done in the stream. And if I press Shift and T on my keyboard, it shows me in the top right there what jobs need to be done. Excuse me for just a second. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so we've got a checklist now that shows us what needs to be done. And you can see that at the minute we've got 4 objectives on there, and we're going to work through that list before we do anything else today. So top of the list is to buy Field 32. You need some mods on TikTok. People need to be muted, says Addison Brown. Unfortunately, Addison, I do have to manage that myself more often than not. I do have a few moderators, but, you know, there's no guarantee that they'll be online at the same time as I'm streaming. So sometimes I do have to manage chat by myself. And today's one of those days, but someone might pop in later. Like I say, I've got about 7 or 8 mods. But anyway, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a quick walk down the road to Field 32. It's actually this field right here. So if we look at it on the map, this is Field 32. It's right next door to Field 31, which, of course, we already have. So I thought it'd be a good idea to get, you know, the neighbouring fields. It's a fairly good size. It's pretty much the perfect size for what we're going to be using for the sort of size of equipment that we're using at the minute. And it is right next door to the farm itself as well. So I think this is going to be a great choice of field. I'm going to buy it right now. You can see it's already cultivated, so it's ready for planting straight away. And we are in February, which means we can start planting it pretty much straight away. So I'm going to buy this field. There we go. For... Oh, wait, I accidentally pressed visit there. Buy. There we go. 59 grand. That's not too bad. So there we go. So now we got Field 32. Do you own all the fields or just certain ones, says Draydog? At the minute, Draydog, we only own a couple of fields on the map. So we got 31 and 32 here. We got 35, this long, thin one that previously had sunflowers in it. And we got a few grass fields over here as well, which we'll go and take a look at soon, because there's a few changes over there that I want to show you as well. What headphones, says Griffin? These are called, I think they're EKSA 1000. That's EKSA 1000. I'm going to move my Patreon board because it keeps falling over. There we go. You can still read it there. If I put the gear shifter back. There you go. Yeah, the headphones, they're very cheap. They're only like 20-25 quid. EKSA is the brand. But they're pretty good. I've not used the mic on it. It does have a microphone, but obviously I have an actual mic, so I don't know if the microphone's any good because I don't really use it. But the headphones themselves are not bad at all. Okay, so we'll head back to the farm. In fact, I'll just switch back to one of the tractors. And we can cross one of these things off of our checklist now, so you can see how it works. So if I press 2 here, confirm completion of task, there we go. That disappears off our checklist, and now we just need to sell the wheat, sell the silage bales, and feed the sheep. So next thing we're going to do is if I don't forget my keys. Next thing we're going to do is sell the silage bales. Because if you'll recall, a couple of episodes ago, we did some baling. I accidentally wrapped the bales, which I wasn't supposed to do. We needed grass bales to feed to the sheep, but I wrapped them without thinking, turning them into silage, so now they're useless, we can't feed them to the sheep, and we don't have any cows, so we're just going to sell them, and then we're going to use the money to buy some grass bales to feed to the sheep, until our grass is long enough to do some more baling. You actually have to use the key to turn it on. That's fire, says Nick. It is pretty cool, Nick. Yeah, the keys from the collector's edition of FS25, the game that I'm playing right now. Really, really great bit of kit. It's a small thing, but it does make the game that bit more immersive, you know. What's your name? Says Chaz. My name is Saul. That's S-A-U-L. I'm just going to check the best place to sell this silage. God, there's so many sellable products in this one. Best place is currently Gear Lane Bales. So, can we tag that place? We can. And where is it? What? Where is it? Oh, it's that way. Okay. I was looking for the big green light, but that's from FS19, isn't it? This one doesn't have that. Sorry, I was reading two questions at once there. Someone said, what are you playing? I'm playing Farming Sim 25. And someone said, what are your pronouns? She, her. Thanks for asking. And also, I just want to point out today, as you might guess from the title of the stream, I'm going to be extremely professional today. I'm going to drive safely. We're going to get things done. We're not going to be rushing about and crashing into hedges and crashing into bushes, you know. We're going to... This is an extremely professional stream, okay? No more driving through hedges. Absolutely not. We're going to do things properly from now on. Thanks for the heart me's, by the way, Panda and Matey839. Very kind of you both. Oh, I was just about to eat my words there. I could use cruise control, actually. Except I don't know how cruise control works on this game. Never mind. Daniel says, I'll give it 20 minutes till you're off-roading through fields. You're going to eat those words, Daniel. You just watch me. There's going to be no crashes. No driving through other people's fields. None of that. In fact, I've actually installed a mod. Back when I played FS19, you may recall, if you were watching back then, I had a mod that adds crop destruction to other players' fields, so if you drive through other people's fields, you get charged. I've got that same mod now to discourage me from driving through other people's fields. So we'll see if it works. Hello from Australia, says Nathan. Hi, Nathan. Oh shit, this trailer's got a dolly, hasn't it? So it's going to be really difficult to reverse. Can I call you it, says Chaz. You can call me whatever you please, Chaz. Whatever makes you happy. I've just hit the wall there, so... there we go, we've already had our first crash of the day. A minor one, a minor one. Okay, so we should be able to just release the tension belts. There we go. Oh, that last one's not quite in the zone. There we go. Okay, 2,655 plus an extra 300 for that last one. Nearly impossible to reverse a dolly trailer, says Tree Monkey. Yeah, that's why I did a U-turn. I wasn't even going to attempt to reverse it. Okay, so that's the second task done. But we're going to go to the shop now, and we're going to buy some grass bales, which we should have made in the first place. Like I say, I did mean... I was supposed to make grass bales, but I accidentally wrapped them to make silage, so that's why we had to sell those off just now. But we're going to buy some grass bales, and we're going to feed that to the sheep. Is that Farm Sim? Yes, it is, Tree Monkey. This is Farm Sim 25. Can I join you, says Jaden. I'm on single player, Jaden. Sorry. Map name. The map is Moss Valley. It's based on Sheffield in South Yorkshire. Great map, very local to me. Obviously, I'm in Doncaster, just nearby. So it's great to play in a location that's, you know, somewhat familiar to me. Drizzy Tech. I tuned into your live a week ago. How's the farm going? Pretty good, pretty good. I should clarify, by the way, I don't really play the game when I'm not streaming, or if I do, I'll play like on a separate world. I don't play on this save game unless I'm streaming. So if as long as you watch the streams, you're not missing anything off camera, with a few minor exceptions. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of, you know, just preparation off camera, but nothing major. Are you playing on PC or PlayStation? I am on PC, Tree Monkey. Oh, I should have the light on as well. Except I hate the flash pattern in this tractor. Do you wear nickels or pants? Says Chaz. Nickels? I'm not American. We don't have nickels here. Thanks for following Nathan Hamilton, and thank you, Sam, as well. Squeeze through here. Thanks, Scarroll, William Oulette, and T-Bay Evenpool. Nice name. Do you have a boyfriend, says Chaz? I don't, Chaz, no, but I'm not looking at the minute, so, you know, I'm flattered, but no thanks. What steering wheel is that, says Abdul Ode. This is the Logitech heavy equipment wheel. It comes as part of a bundle with the side panel here. Not the flashing light, that's something else. But the wheel, the panel, and 2 pedals is £230 for the lot, which is a very good price. It's quite cheap for a steering wheel, but you get what you pay for. It's a good, like, starting setup, you know? How much for the whole setup? I have a video about this. Oh, sorry, I'll turn the light off. I didn't realise. I didn't even think. Sorry about that. I should put a warning in the description, actually, when I'm going to be using the flashing light. I do apologise for that. I'll keep it off for now. Anyway, someone asked how much the whole setup was. I have a video. If you check my second pinned video on my profile, the thumbnail is a picture of my setup. If you check out that video, it'll tell you everything you need to know, all the, you know, prices of everything, where it all came from, how much it all cost, stuff like that. So I do recommend checking that out. But to give you a rough estimate, I spent about £2,000 for everything. Okay, I'm going to go back to the farm because I've realised I have the wrong tractor. We need the Massey because we need the bale spike. So we'll whip this back to the farm first. What's the name of the map? The map is called Moss Valley. Thanks for following James414. Thank you, Jesus B4. I'm not sure how to read that one. I apologise, but thank you very much for following. And Small Sophiel, or Small Sophie L. Thank you very much. Go to Gibbles. Very much appreciated, everyone. I might have to stop reading out follows if it continues at this rate. Sometimes Sometimes we get quite a lot of followers in short succession, and I can't just be doing the whole stream just reading names out. But thank you everyone who has followed, it is very much appreciated. Just give me a second. I'm going to have to do a little bit of moderation. There we go, that should do. Like I say, unfortunately, I am on my own today with the chat, so I'm sure it's going to be really fun. I'm sure I'm not going to be tabbing out of the game every 3 seconds to block people who just spam the same message over and over again because they've got nothing better to do. There we go. And we'll switch to the Massey there. They've got nothing better to do. You're sat on a farming game. Yeah, and they're sat watching me. I always love this comment. I always get this comment like, oh, you're wasting your time. Why don't you go out and do something? Like, you're watching the live stream. Why don't you go out and do something? Okay, we got the Massey. We're going to head down to the shop and get ourselves a few bales. Oh, I need to turn the timescale up, by the way. I forgot it was still on 0.5. We'll turn it up to 10. Thanks for following, Crumbs. Genuine question, mate. Are you a boy or a girl? I'm neither. I'm an adult. I'm not a girl and boy are names for children, which I'm not. Why don't you buy the farm stick, says T-Bay. Is it T-Bay or is it Tybe, by the way? Just so that I'm getting your name right. I'm not really interested in getting the farm stick because I've got the side panel here. The side panel is really great. I do like the look of the farm stick. I've heard good things about it. But I'm quite happy with the side panel that I've got, to be honest. What game is it? The game is Farming Sim 25. Okay, so we're just going to move the trailer out of the way a little bit. The Hori Farm bundle is good, says it's Jack. I mean, I think I've heard mixed reviews about the Hori wheel because I was gonna get the Hori farming vehicle control system at the end of last year, but I heard some unfavorable things about it, and I decided not to bother. Where do I get? Am I looking in the wrong place here? It might, you know, they might have just been like early reviews. It might be more well liked now. I don't know. But I'm happy enough with with the wheel that I've got at the moment, to be honest. 1 second. Crumbs says, not sure if you remember me. I'm the random person that witnessed that guy try. Oh yes, Crumbs. Yes, hello. Yes, you were on Truckers MP a while back. Thank you very much. Scott Ashton said all this hate is actually boosting Souls ratings. That's how it goes, you know. A view is a view. A view is a view. At the end of the day. The Moser truck wheel looks decent as well, says Gerald. I have heard very good things about Moser. Moser is a brand that I have heard very good things about. I'm not sure. It's a bit pricey though for me at the minute. I'm looking at Thrustmaster really. When I do eventually get a new wheel, I am looking at Thrustmaster. I think that's going to be the best option. But yeah, I've heard good things about Moza. Okay, here comes the tricky part. If you've watched any of my previous farm sim streams, you know how terrible I am at handling bales. So let's see if... Could I pick them all up at once? This is probably going to end very, very badly. I think these might be too heavy, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. Here we go. Wish me luck. Okay. Nope, way too heavy. Way too heavy. Okay, okay, put it back down, put it back down, put it down. Down. Okay. Worth a try, worth a try. Way, way too heavy, though. Such a ladylike pastime, says A. Oh, yes, because women have never farmed in all of human history. A woman has never farmed or played a video game. Women have never played video games. Did you know that? Before the year 2022, women literally never played video games, ever. Put a weight on the back of the tractor, says Sonetta. I could do, yeah. A weight could help, but I think it's probably going to be easier. I don't want to put them all on the tractor on the trailer like that anyway. I prefer to arrange them a little bit more neatly, so 2 at a time is probably the best option. Oh. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm terrible at this. I'm terrible at loading trailers in this game. There we go. Perfect. That's not very ladylike. Fuck off. Don't care. I'm not here to be ladylike, so if that's what you want, fuck off. I played games before 2022, says Brooke. No, you didn't, Brooke. I'm sorry. But you didn't, because women never played video games before 2022. It literally never happened. You might think you did, but didn't happen. You okay, lovely? I'm fine, thank you, Abs. How are you doing? Oop, there we go. God's disappointed in you, says Jack. God's not real. I am. How do you know if I did or didn't, says Brooke. Well, because you can't have done. It's impossible. Who was it who left that comment? I can't remember. I'll have to scroll back a little bit. It was A. A says that gaming isn't ladylike. So according to A, women don't play video games. That's not me saying that. That's A. And unfortunately, there are quite a lot of men who actually do think that. Like, to be quite clear, I'm joking. Of course women play video games. The point that I'm making is that there are men who genuinely believe women just don't play games, ever. I was trying to point out the stupidity of that belief. And yet it is a real belief. People do actually think that. What map is this, says Crumbs? It's called Moss Valley. It's a great map. It's based on Sheffield in South Yorkshire, which is very local to me, so it's very... It's good to be able to play a map that feels very familiar in that way. Do you farm in real life, or do you just play for the fun of it, says Alfie? I just like the game. I'm not a real farmer. Barnsley says it all. Who said Barnsley? Who mentioned the word Barnsley? I'm from Doncaster. I've literally... I think that's the first time I've ever said the word Barnsley on a stream before. Who mentioned Barnsley? You just made that up. I don't mind being a mod. Love Sheffield, by the way, says Abs, Nats, and Chats. Thank you, Abs, for volunteering. I might actually add you if you don't mind, because we could do with a little bit of moderation in the chat today. There's quite a few of the usual comments here, so I will add you actually. Thank you, Abs. Yep. There we go. Okay. There you go, Abs. You are now a moderator. Thank you very much. Obviously, it goes without saying, you know, just don't be too strict. Don't just ban every single negative comment, because I like reading the negative comments. It's always fun reading the negative comments. You know, don't ban everyone. Just only spam, really. If it's spam, get rid of it. If it's just the same person saying the same comment over and over again 50 times, get rid of it. But leave some of the negative comments, because they're fun to react to. Okay, we're heading down now to the sheep farm, the sheep pen, and I'm going to show you the changes that I've made there, because it's looking a little bit different. I could put the beacon on again, because it's not a flash in this tractor, it's a spin. On the New Holland it flashes, but on this tractor it spins, so I think it's safe. Also, we're going to be taking a slightly different route to get to the sheep farm today, because I've discovered that there is actually a dirt track that goes from behind our farm directly to the sheep farm, and I didn't even realise it was there. So we're going to drive that way instead. Where's your dress from, says Millie. This one is, I think, from Pretty Little Thing. I get a lot of my new clothes from Pretty Little Thing. It's this way. There we go. You don't know what you've signed up for, Abs, do you? I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the chat right now. I'm just thinking, poor Abs. No idea what you've walked into here. You're gonna have your work cut out. Okay, but this dirt track, like I say, runs right along to the sheep farm. Stops us going out onto the main road. Your profile picture, says KF. What about my profile picture? It's a picture of me, like most people's profile pictures are. Well, actually, no, most people have faceless profiles. Usually the same people who comment on my live streams. But some people, I know it's a foreign concept, but some people actually aren't afraid to show their faces online and have their faces as their profile picture. I know that's a bizarre concept to most people, but... you ever farmed grapes and olives, says Aiden. Not in this one, Aiden. I've farmed grapes in FS22, but not in 25 yet. I would like to. I want to do cereal, which you need grapes for the raisins. So at some point, we'll probably end up doing grapes on this playthrough. But no, I haven't tried it yet in 25. Is it a good game? I think it depends. You know, if it's the kind of thing that you're interested in, yeah. You know, if you're interested in farming, absolutely, definitely worth checking out. What map are you playing? The map is called Moss Valley. It's based on Sheffield in South Yorkshire. Just shut this gate. Nearly. And the sheep pasture looks a bit different today. I'll turn the beacon off now that we're in the field. So you may remember last week we had a little bit of trouble with placing the sheep pasture because for some reason I couldn't do the custom fence. It just kept going to the default square. But I'm pleased to report that off camera I did manage to get the pasture to the shape of the field. So the sheep pasture actually now fills the whole field rather than being just a tiny little square. And I bought a few more sheep. Oh. Okay, we need to take this corner a bit wide because the bales won't go through the hedge. I might have to do a cheeky turn in this guy's fields. Oh shit, we're still stuck. Oh no, I've made it worse. Very professional. Very professional. Ignore this. Pretend this isn't happening right now. It's that one bale is caught right on the very edge of the hedge. Oh, for fuck's sake, it's actually stuck. I've actually got it stuck. I appreciate having collision on the hedges, but this is ridiculous. Okay, that's completely stuck. That's not going to come out. The problem is the hitbox of the hedge. Hang on, let me just show you. The hitbox of the hedge comes out so far that the bales are getting caught on... Literally, the bales are getting caught on these leaves, which I don't think is very realistic. So, I'm not taking the blame for this one. I'm going to have to detach the trailer and give it a good bump. Okay, that hasn't helped at all. And now I can't connect again because it's at a weird angle. Why is it stuck on that? Why are you stuck on literally 2 leaves? Look at it. Look. Again, I'm stuck on a fucking twig. Extremely professional farming, by the way. Extremely professional farming is happening right now. There we go. It just needed a professional bump, which I have now administered. Okay, now we continue professionally. Q says, to be fair, that's the most realistic thing I've seen happen so far as a farmer. Thanks, Q. Okay, so here is the sheep pasture, and it's looking a bit different from last time. You can see the fence now actually goes all the way around the field, rather than just being a tiny little square, so that's good. I've also concreted over it, so it's looking nice and tidy up this end as well. I've left this little bit here as grass, but I might concrete over this as well, and I've kept the mowers here, because the only time we're ever going to need the mowers is to bale grass for the sheep. But yes, we got a few more sheep now, as you can see. We've actually got 60. We got 15 of each breed. There's 4 breeds, so we got 15 of each, 60 sheep in total. Which means we're going to have to be feeding them a lot. So we're going to need to make sure we got a constant supply of bales coming in. And I think we need to give them water as well. Do you need to give sheep water? In the game, in real life, obviously, but in the game, I'm not sure. There we go. Shut the gate. Now, we are a little bit restricted on space, so it's going to be a bit tricky to actually get the bales off here and into the enclosure. What I might do is I've got an idea. I'll tell you what I'll do. We'll lift them off from the back. When I play, nothing I do is professional, says Coffee Cal. Honestly, mood. There we go. Okay. So, if we just unload the back 2. There we go. Forward. Zoom in a bit so I can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. And up we go. I think they're caught. We might need to undo this belt as well. There we go. Hold on, let me back up a bit and try again. Oop, down. And forward. And up. And back. There we go. That's better. Tilt them towards me slightly. That's a bit too far. And we're going to lose one. Not to worry. There we go. There we go. Okay, what am I stuck on now? That's it. That's it. I think you just put them down in this square. Okay, there we go. Has it taken any of that food in? No. Okay, Why? First of all, why? And also why? One moment. Wait a minute. It's not grass. It's not grass. It's not fucking grass. So I think I don't think they'll actually take hay bales. I think it has to be grass, which you can't buy in the shop. Which means our sheep are going to starve, because we don't have any grass to be mowed right now. And we've also wasted our money buying these bales that we can't use. Grass is hay, says Andy. Not quite, Andy. Hay is dried grass. And I think the game does actually... I think the game does actually have a distinction there. I don't think the sheep can eat hay. They can only eat grass. Like, once you've dried it, they won't take it. Because I've put the bales in there, and they're clearly not being taken by the pen. I might... Unless... Hang on. Wait a minute. I think I might actually be in the wrong place. I think this is where the wool pallets get dropped. Maybe? There's still hope. There's still hope. So if this is where the pallets get dropped off, then where does the hay go? Oh, is it here? It might be... Okay. I think it might be where that marker light is. Not the yellow square, but just in front of it. Let's try that. Anything happening? Nope. Open the door. I can't get to the door now because I've put these bales in front of it. Right, these sheep, in all honesty, these sheep have been a nightmare from day one. We've had nothing but trouble trying to get these guys sorted out. Okay, I don't think opening the door is going to make any difference though, is it? Please just go there. Yeah, it's still not taking. Okay, so I've come to the conclusion they can't take hay. It has to be grass. It has to be undried grass. Which means we've wasted our money buying these bales that can't be fed to the sheep. I'm going to check the help just in case. Ooh. Where... Ah, there we go. Sheep. No, it says hay. Look, it says there they can eat grass and hay. So they can eat the hay. I just don't know where to put it. But obviously I'm putting it in the wrong spot. So where does it go? It doesn't go in the square. It doesn't go there. I don't think it goes here, because this is where the animal dialogue is. Just put it in the field. That it won't register if it just goes straight in the fields. It goes in the square. It doesn't go in the square, actually. I put it in the square and it didn't register as being there. I can try it again. But you can see there, still says none. Back of truck? What truck? Just drop it in the shed. There's no way to get into the shed. It only has a person-sized door. You need a trailer that spits it out, says Rapid Reels. You shouldn't do. You should be able to just put the bales in a certain spot and it takes them. Not on that pen you can't. Move the trailer. It's a glitch if it's too close to the square. Okay, I can try moving the trailer. So what do I... So I put the bales in the square, and then move the trailer. I can't put the bales in the square, because I need to get back in front of the trailer. And I've just dropped a bale. Okay. Very professional farming, by the way. This is why I hate baling. This is why I avoid doing this job as much as possible. I've dropped the bale again. At least it's on the front loader. It needs to be loose, says Claire Smart. I mean, again, that's the first I've ever heard about that being a thing. I've always put full bales in, but if it needs to be loose, then I can try. Oh, I can't go through the hedge either because of the... Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to do like a 5-point turn to try and get out of here now. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna reset the trailer back to the shop and just dump all the bales, and then we'll figure it out from there. There we go, down they all go. Right. Now, we can't cut open the bale. Hang on a minute. There is something we can do. There is a mod that lets you cut open bales. Ice Cream Man outside. I'll go and add that mod real quick. Ooh, update. Ooh, lovely. What's it called? Cut. I'll just put cut. Cut open bale. There we go. Okay, we'll try this. We'll try cutting open the bale and see if the loose grass will go in there. There we go. What are you trying to do to feed animals? You have to spray to the shed, and then the trailer you just need to buy a locked back. Again, I'm not like accusing anyone of lying, but I know for a fact that I have fed sheep in this game before by just putting a full bale in the drop area. I've never heard of having to cut the bale open first or having to use a blower. Like, I know for a fact that you can just put the bale straight in. Or at least I thought that was a fact, but apparently not. Apparently it's all changed now. Okay, I still don't have the option to cut the bale open. You know what? I'm just gonna go away. Enjoy your hay, sheep. You can eat it if you want. I don't know. Fend for yourselves. And I will figure out how to do that another time. I'm abandoning this job like an extremely professional farmer would. Watch pronouns, she, her. Thanks for asking. Jackson Teggett. Velo says, I haven't played since 23, but I know you could always feed with bales. Exactly. You can feed with bales. I know for a fact that you can do that. I'm fairly convinced that there's probably just a certain spot that you need to drop the bales in that I couldn't find. So I'll figure that out off camera. Let's just count that as red. You can, but if you're laying, not feeding, you need to cut. I'm not laying. That was food. I was trying to feed them. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about a straw blower to blow the straw for bedding. That's not what I was trying to do. I was trying to feed them a hay bale, which you can do by just dropping a hay bale into the drop area. It's probably just bugged or something and you have to find a specific space. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like I say, I think there's just a specific spot that it needed to be in, and I just couldn't find it. So I'll sort that out later. We got more important things to be doing. We're nearly an hour into the stream already and we haven't really done much yet. So let's just leave that for now and do some other stuff. Hey ma'am, hope you're having a great day, says JV Lynn. I am JV Lynn, how are you doing? Thank you very much. Is your steering wheel a full rotation one, says Donut Lord. It is indeed, Donut Lord. This has 900 degrees of rotation, so that's 450 in each direction. So quite a lot of movement freedom there. Love your videos, they're very entertaining. Thank you, Brannon McCall. What do I need to do now? I want to check, actually. I want to have a quick look at our current tractors. We got two tractors at the minute. We got the New Holland and the Massey. I want to check the horsepower on them. The Massey is 165. The New Holland's 260. That's pretty beefy, so I don't think we're going to have any problems for the time being. But I was kind of thinking about buying another tractor. I don't know which one, but I kind of want to buy another tractor. Are you from Doncaster? You have a Doncaster accent, says DRFC. I am indeed DRFC, yes. I am from Doncaster. Born in Harrogate. Raised in Doncaster, lived here pretty much my whole life. Need around 300 to 360, that'll sort you, says Andy. Thank you for the suggestion, Andy. You know I love the Agco / Challenger, but I don't know. I kind of want the challenge. I kind of want the big Challenger. But it's not really suitable for anything apart from, like, cultivating and ploughing and stuff. It's, you know, because it's insanely heavy and slow. But it's... Come on, it's a Challenger. This is... Not this exact one, but the Challenger is, like, one of my favourite tractors. I love the original 75C, I think it is. Like, the original Cat Challenger. What a tractor. What a machine. But this one's pretty good as well. I'm very tempted to buy it. We can't really afford it, but I am very tempted to buy it. There is the Schluter, which is a good, like, sort of vintage but quite beefy tractor. I used this quite a lot in FS22 if you watched back then. I don't know though. I don't know. That's got to be too big. No, the Steiger's got to be way too big for the roads on this map. Okay, no, I'm not going to buy a new tractor. I'm not going to buy a new tractor, but I've got my eye on a new tractor. We're not going to buy one right now, but we are going to buy one eventually. In the meantime, could I sell the Merlot? I don't think I'm going to use it because I'm not a big fan of telehandlers. I prefer to use front loaders, and we have a front loader on the Massey. We could sell the telehandler, and that might get us a little bit of money to buy another tractor, maybe? You know what I'm thinking? Let's do it. Let's go and sell it. Oh. You need a voice changer, says Arlo. Why would I need a voice changer? Keep the telehandler, says Red. I don't really get on with telehandlers, Red. I don't know why. I've always preferred just a tractor with a front loader. I'm not a big fan of telehandlers, generally speaking. I should have this lowered, by the way. I'm losing control. I'm okay, there we go. You're looking beautiful today. Thank you, Brandon. It's very kind of you. What's your favourite game to play, says Tia. My favourite game, Tia, my favourite game of all time is a game called Oddworld Abe's Exodus. It's a PS1 game from 1998. It was the first video game I ever played. And whenever I just want to relax and just play a game, you know, just sit down and have fun for a bit, that is my go-to game. I've played that game so many times. Front to back, I know every single screen and every single second of dialogue in every cutscene. I've played that game to death, and it's so good. Best game ever, in my humble opinion. Ooh, try and stay on the road, son. I've got to go. Are you going to be okay? I'll be fine, thanks, Abs. Thank you for your help today. It's been very kind of you. It's a little bit quieter now. We've gone past the peak of the stream. Normally the viewership peaks in like the first hour and then it quietens down a bit. So hopefully we'll be okay. What game? The game is Farming Sim 25. Is your name Saul? My name's Saul, S-A-U-L. Let me sell these. Glad people have been kind, says Tia. They are. Yeah, it's honestly, Abs has been doing a little bit of moderating for me today. Very grateful for that. Thank you very much, Abs. You've been a big help. What's your real name, mate? Says Tyler West. My real name is Saul. That's the name that I was born with. That's the name that's on my birth certificate. Okay, we got quite a bit of money from that. So you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking I'm going to buy the Challenger. I just want this tractor. I just love this tractor. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. Now we can have it with 248 horsepower or 285 horsepower or 262. We might as well just go for the biggest one. 285. Wheel setup. I think we'll go standards. Let's not go overboard. Crawler brand. Oh, we can have it as a Challenger. Oh. Oh. I don't know. Do I want it as a Class or as a Challenger? What are we thinking? What are we thinking? Class or Challenger? I love Class. I'm a big Class fan. But I'm a big Challenger fan as well. Oh, everyone say Challenger. I don't want to disappoint everyone, but I'm leaning more towards Class. I'm sorry everyone. I'm sorry everyone who wants to see the Challenger, but I think I'm gonna go with the Class. I just love the green paint job of the Class, the green and white. It's so good. I'm going Class. I'm going Class. We'll have left beacon light. Mirrors, yes or no? Oh, that just puts the mirrors higher. I think we'll keep the mirrors close by because lots of narrow roads on this map. I don't want to be getting the mirrors caught in a tree or something, which will definitely happen. Attachers. Oh, that's the front attacher. So we can have a front weight. We can have a 3-point linkage, which I'll be honest, I think the 3-point linkage looks a bit looks a bit weird on this tractor because of how far out the front sticks. I think we'll just go for a front weight. I don't think we're going to really need to attach anything to the front anyway, so we'll go front weight. We'll just keep the default license plate, and that's going to cost us £145,500. Not bad. Let's do it. How does the tractor not fall over, says Panda? There's a lot of weight in the back, Panda. It seems a bit weird because like the engine is in the front and the engine is very heavy, obviously. But that's why the tracks are much wider at the back rather than being like, you know, like on a tank, the tracks are the same width all the way across. Like the tracks are bigger at the back to add extra weight so that it doesn't tip forward. Oh, look at that. Okay, it's I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit smaller than I thought it was gonna be. I thought that the bonnet would at least be above head height. I wasn't expecting it to be this small. It's kind of cute. I like it. I dig it. Like I say, thought it was gonna be a bit bigger, but I'll take it. Map name is Moss Valley. Oh, I'm in neutral. Oh, it's got a manual gearbox as well. Okay, this is going to be fun then. Especially because I've only got sequential gear shifting, so I have to manually switch up all the way to top gear every time. Oh, hang on. We need the trailer as well. Let's not forget the bale trailer. Yeah, unfortunately, this gear shifter can't be mapped to Farming Sim. So the only gear shifter I have is this stick here. But it does mean that, like I say, every time I change gears... Okay, this one, it doesn't do it. This one, it changes back into 16. But there's certain tractors where if you switch from reverse and then to forward again, it goes back to the lowest gear and you have to shift all the way back up again. Which is very annoying. What you play on PC, says Brandon. We have had a couple of questions, actually. I just want to... Sorry I've missed a couple of questions. Let me just rewind a little bit. Tia says, I live in a village and driving tractors always struggle to keep it streamlined. Yeah, I live in a small village as well. There's always a lot of, you know, I mean, I don't drive personally, but, you know, there's always cars bumping into tractors and having to reverse and, you know, tractors getting caught on tree branches and shit like that. It's a tricky job. What was your first ever farming game, says It's Archie? FS15 was my first on the PS4. But I have since played 13 as well, and I think I've actually played 9 as well, way back. How much was the whole setup, says Leo. Sorry, Leo, that you have asked me that question a few times. Sorry that I haven't gotten round to answering it. The entire setup costs just over £2,000. And I do have a pinned video on my profile if you want to know more about all of the stuff that I've got, if you want to know how much it costs, where it all comes from, stuff like that. Do check out the second pinned video on my profile. Jack Swift says, if you get the real gearbox add-on, you can map your H shifter. Thanks for the suggestion, Jack. Is that mod on 25 yet? Because I'm aware that that mod was on 22. I don't know if it's been released for this game yet. But if it works, and if I can map the gearbox to it with that, then I'll definitely check it out. Starting to get a bit dark as well, so I think we'll... How do I do the tension belts? There we go. Yeah, I think we'll skip ahead to March after this. Hi Daniel, how are you doing? You reckon you'd be comfortable driving an actual tractor after this, says Welshie? I don't know. I don't think I'd be really comfortable driving in general. I've never really had any intention of driving. What are you farming, says Paddy. At the minute, Paddy, we have some sheep. And we also have some barley. We've got some sunflowers that have been harvested. We need to sell those. And then that field there that we're just passing now, we've just bought, and we're going to be planting some crops in there very soon as well. I think we're going to do oats, because you can plant oats in March, and it's going to be March tomorrow, so... is the mods good on PC, says Brannon? Yes, absolutely. I think that's one of the biggest advantages to playing on PC is the mods. And obviously, you can play with quite a lot of mods on consoles nowadays. There's lots of good stuff on the mod hub that is crossplay. But even so, there's still lots of mods that are PC only. So if you want like the proper modded experience, PC is the better option for that, I think. Ooh, eyes front. Okay, so we got a new tractor. Well, she says, I've heard from trainers a lot that you're usually good to go after simulators. I think there are that does apply to like proper simulators. I think a lot of people would say that Farming Sim isn't really a simulator. It's more of like an arcade game. It's not like super accurate in terms of the driving experience. With something like Flight Sim, I think Flight Sim is so similar to actually flying that I can see, you know, real pilots often do like get their start on games like Flight Sim. But I think with Farming Sim, it's a bit less... the simulation is a bit less realistic, so I don't really think the skills are as transferable with a game like this. But yeah, Flight Sim, I don't play Flight Sim myself because I'm not really interested in planes. But Flight Sim obviously is an actual simulator, like in the most proper sense. It's very accurate, whereas Farming Sim is more gamey, you know. I haven't even started my Iron Brew today. I've got a 1901 recipe, by the way, as usual. Haven't even started it. We'll have a sip now. That's the stuff. Lovely. Where do you live, says DRFC? I live in Doncaster. Like I say, I lived here most of my life. Does it taste different from the rest, says Huzinator? Oh, the 1901 Iron Brew, 100%. 100%. The 1901 recipe tastes completely different to like regular Iron Brew. And it's a lot better, in my opinion. I recommend the 1901 recipe. I feel bad for that Fanta, says Alfie Roberts. Well, it's Iron Brew, so... I'm going to do a quick save. There we go. What time did you wake up? About 6 o'clock, DRFC. I normally get up about 6. I should maybe move this, actually. I'm just looking. It's a bit of an awkward spot. The problem is, because it's a dolly trailer as well, it's going to be really hard to really put it anywhere else. Oh, I've got a bit of Iron Brew on my finger. There we go. What PC do you use, says DRFC? It's a custom PC. I bought it from Bedrock Computers for £1,012. It's refurbished, so all like recycled parts, which makes it a lot cheaper than buying everything brand new. The specs are 8GB graphics card, 32 gigs RAM, 5TB storage, and an i5 processor. Can you show the PC? Unfortunately, I can't, because it's underneath my desk, under the corner there. If you want to see the PC, do check out my second pinned video on my profile. It's like a cost breakdown video, so if you want to know how much everything costs, where it all comes from, stuff like that, check out my second pin video. If you want to know where the wheel's from, or the microphone, or the desk, or the monitors, or the shifter, anything like that, it's all on that video. You're going to need that storage, especially for them Steam games, says Dylan. Yeah, honestly, the thing that takes up the most storage space is my videos, because I keep all of the files, like all of the raw video footage from every video that I've posted on TikTok. I keep all the raw files, which take up a lot of space. That's why I wanted to make sure I had plenty of storage space, was for the videos. But yeah, games take up a lot of space as well, especially these days. Video games are like bigger than ever before. You need a lot of storage space for video games nowadays. Because with my old PC, the problem with my old PC was it only had 1 terabyte of storage, so it got to the point where if I wanted to play a certain game, I'd have to uninstall another game to make space. Sorry, my monitor's going to turn itself off. Yeah, it got to the point where I was having to uninstall games to make space for other games, and it'd be like, oh, I haven't played this game for a while, I'm going to have to reinstall it, because I had to uninstall it previously to make space for something else, you know what I mean? Whereas with this PC, I don't have to worry about that, because I've got space for all of my games, and all of my video files. Don't tractors have bigger steering wheels, or do you prefer the smaller one, says ONU? They do normally. This is a very small wheel, honestly. I think this is probably one of the smallest wheels you can get, at least in terms of farming wheels. But it's cheap, you know. I would like to get a bigger wheel, but this is good for now. The Hori wheel, actually, we were talking about the Hori farming vehicle control system earlier. That does have a nice big wheel, which was one of the main reasons that I was considering getting it in the first place, to be honest. But like I say, it wasn't meant to be. Draydog says, keys are in, that means the big stuff is happening. It certainly does, Draydog. I like the TARDIS profile picture as well, very nice. Okay, so we are... Wait, do we load from here, or is this just where we empty? You know what? We didn't sell the wheat yesterday, either. It's still on the checklist. We didn't... Oh my god, let me check the price of wheat. It's going to be so low now. Okay, that's not too bad. It's currently going up. Moss Valley Grain Merchant, 618 a ton. That's not too bad. That's not bad. I think if we sell it now, it's not the best price, but if we... Actually, no, it's going up slightly. We could sell it in April. If we sell it in April, you can see there's like a mini peak in April, so we can sell it then. The sunflowers, though, they do need to be sold today, because this is the best price all year round for sunflowers. And the best place is Ridgeway Goods, so we're going to mark that. We are going to sell the sunflowers as soon as I can figure out where we actually load them in from. Because this is where you unload them, but I'm not sure where the loading area is. It's not this. This is for the pigs, which we don't have. Oh, whoops. Time you on till tonight? 6 o'clock as usual, Daniel. So we're about halfway through. Ah, there we go. Okay, sunflowers, 15,000 litres. I'm here if you need any other mods, says Pink Panther. I think we'll be okay for now, Pink Panther, but thank you for the offer. Honestly, I'm not worried about people calling me he in the comments if you're concerned about that. It really doesn't bother me in the slightest. Okay, so to the sell point. Thanks for the gifts, by the way. I haven't read out many gifts today, but thank you, DJ Piglet25, for the Heart Me, Power Gems, and Roses. All very much appreciated. Thank you. What are you wearing? I'm wearing a dress. You never seen one before? Why? Why not? Whack your beacon on, says Kyle. I can't put the beacon on in this tractor because it has a very sporadic flash pattern, and I don't want it to get anyone who's you know, sensitive to that kind of thing. But I will put it on when we're in the Massey Ferguson, because that's got a much nicer flashing, you know, a simple rotating beacon. But this one, if I put the beacon light on in here, it's like a rave. It's mad. What map? The map is called Moss Valley. It's based on Sheffield in South Yorkshire. Very good map. I'm enjoying it so far. We're about 4 episodes in now, and I've not really got any complaints. I've enjoyed it thoroughly thus far. Thanks for following Zach Gallagher too. What game is this? It's Farming Sim 25. I don't think we've been down to this corner of the map yet. I'm obsessed with your hair, says Sienna. Thank you, Sienna. I'm kind of obsessed with it as well. I love my hair, honestly. What's the map? Looks just like the roads around where I live. It's called Moss Valley. It's based on Sheffield. Are the roads real roads in the UK? They are, Big Al, yes. So this is actually a real location. If we zoom out here, you can see this is real Google Maps imagery. In fact, if we go up to the north here, you can actually see the Supertram, the Sheffield Supertram, up at the top there. So this is all real places, all real locations, real roads, everything like that. I didn't actually notice how much money we got just then. Did anyone see how much we got? Hang on, I can check. Finances. March. Right. 22 grand. Eh. Not bad. How much was the steering wheel and gear stick? The steering wheel and gear shifter... the steering wheel here and the side panel were £230. The gear shifter, which doesn't work with Farming Sim at the minute, was £80, if I remember correctly. Again, if you want to know more about my setup, where it all comes from, what it all costs, anything like that, do check out my second pinned video on my profile. It'll tell you everything you need to know, monitors, you know, microphone, headphones, everything. You know, you want to know where it all comes from and how much it all costs, do please consider checking out that video. I have a Logitech G29 with the gear stick. I've heard good things about the Logitech G29, Archie, yes. The thing about the G29 is I don't want a racing wheel. It's very... The thing is, racing... There's a lot more racing wheels than there are heavy-duty wheels, because there's a lot more racing games than there are simulator games, right? So it's a lot easier to find a racing wheel than it is to find one for farming or trucking. But there are a few good ones out there. Like I say, this is the Logitech G heavy equipment wheel. It's very cheap, but it's a good like entry-level thing. And at the minute, I'm looking at getting the Thrustmaster T248, which is... it's a racing wheel, but you can convert it into a trucking wheel, which I think is what I'm going to be going for when I do eventually replace this one. How big is the steering wheel, says Truly Average. I don't know how big things are. I think it's got to be more than a foot. 35 centimeters? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'm terrible at judging how big things are just by looking at them. I'd need to actually measure it. What's AMA? AMA means ask me anything. What's for dinner tonight, says BMacker. I'm not sure yet, BMacker. Haven't thought about it. Probably something simple, though. It's been a long week. I just, you know, I'm not really fussed about doing proper cooking tonight. So it'll probably just be like a frozen pie or something like that. You doing good? I'm doing very good, CBGB. How are you doing? Thanks for following Joshua Mitchell. It's Friday, that's takeaway day, says Panda. It would be, Panda, but I had a McDonald's on Monday, so I can't have another takeaway this week. I tried the Big Arch, the new special burger that they've got on at the minute. Pretty good, pretty good. I mean, everyone's saying it's just like a Big Mac, but bigger. I don't think it is. I think it tastes... I think the sauce is very different. I liked it. I thought it was very good. Expensive. Like, I know McDonald's can be quite pricey as it is, but the Big Arch in particular, quite expensive. But then again, it is a special burger. The special burgers always cost more than the regular ones. The sauce is the same as the steak one they just had, I think. I don't know, because I didn't try the latest steakhouse stack. When I do buy McDonald's, though, actually, question for the audience, you know, what's your usual go-to McDonald's order? I like to go for the specials. I like to go for whatever burger is on offer at the minute, you know. And if there's nothing special on, Big Mac. The classic. Double quarter pounder. 5 meal deal and a quarter pounder chaser. Fair enough. Always a Big Mac. I respect that, Westy. I respect that. Oh, Wilbo Baggins. Now you're talking my language. Large, big, tasty meal. I've just hit a IBC there. Whoops. The Big Tasty. Oh. That should be a permanent menu item. Why is the Big Tasty not a permanent menu item? McDonald's, if you're watching this, make the Big Tasty a permanent menu item, please. I'm begging you. Okay. Just wanted to push that out of the way so we don't get stuck on it. McSpicy. I'm not a huge fan of the McSpicy, Mason. But, you know, I respect it. I respect it. Okay, I am gonna park in here. And then we're gonna do some planting. Mozzarella dippers are the one, says Big Al. Mozzarella dippers are a good side. Yeah. I wouldn't want just mozzarella dippers, though. They're not very filling. But I do love to get the dippers as well, whichever ones are on offer. Oh, I need to shut down. Can't be cold, though. No, no. Cold McDonald's is criminal. You gotta have it while it's hot. What's your opinion on the halloumi fries? I like halloumi fries. Look, listen. I like cheese. I'm a big cheese enjoyer. Anything, you know, halloumi, cheddar, mozzarella. If it's got cheese in it, I'll eat it. That's, you know, end of story. So I like the halloumi fries, is what I'm saying. Beacons, please. Let's see what the beacons look like on that one. I think that one's safe. I think that one's safe. Cheese is a gift from the gods, says Welshie. It is indeed, Welshie. Fun fact about me. My first word was cheese. That's 100% true. The first word that ever left these lips was cheese. And it's pretty much the only word I've ever said since. I love cheese. Cheese, 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 cheese. It's no coincidence that I'm also a big Wallace and Gromit fan. Okay, we need a planter, because I'm going to be planting oats. So let's see what we got so far, because I think we've already got one to start with. We do, we got the Bednar. Okay, so we'll use the Bednar. Wait, what's the horsepower on that, actually? Just to be absolutely sure that this tractor is going to be powerful enough for it. 240, yes, it will be enough. My first pet was a chinchilla I named Gromit. That's so cool, Welshie. I want a dog called Gromit. I'm not really a dog person. I've never, like, owned a dog myself. Like, we had a dog growing up, but I've never had my own dog. But if I ever have a dog, I'm going to call it Gromit. 100%. Because I've got her. I've got her. Please tell me you got money cheat on, says Westy. No cheats, Westy. No money cheats. Nope, we're doing it all legit. Daniel says, love every cheese apart from goat's cheese and blue Stilton. Oh, I love Stilton. I'm sorry, Daniel. I love Stilton. I love blue cheese. Mmm. Gorgeous. I've got some Stilton in the fridge right now, actually. Might actually treat myself after the stream to some Stilton and crackers. Send your unwanted Stilton to me, Daniel. I'll eat it. I love Stilton. Well, she says, the older I've got, the more I like cats now. They're so much easier and more chill. Love my dogs, though. Yeah, I'm definitely more of a cat person, Welshie. I love cats. You know, we've got 3 cats right now. Technically, they're my brother's cats, but obviously, I live with my brother, so we got 3 cats. My dad's got 4 cats. My stepmom's got 3 cats. Everyone in our family has cats. I'm definitely more of a cat person than a dog person. Not that I dislike dogs, obviously. Why'd you treat yourself after gaming, says Samu. It's not so much after gaming, it's after streaming. I need a little blue cheese to, you know, as respite from the live stream comments. That's how I detox after a hard live stream with a cracker and some Stilton. Okay, we're going to have to reverse in because there's no way we're going to turn this around. Just ignore them. Honestly, in all honesty, I'm joking. I'm not really bothered by what people say on my comments on live streams, so don't concern yourself, honestly. Don't hit that tree. I hit the tree. Okay, there we go. Shut the gate. And we need to make sure that we got the right seed, which in this case is going to be oat. 1 second. There we go. And we might as well start from this corner. Get a cat called Wallace and a dog called Gromit would be perfect, says Mason. Not a bad idea, Mason. Not a bad idea. Okay. Let's unfold. And we're going to be planting oat in this field. Oh, I can turn the beacon off now that we're in the field as well. Right. I'm worried that we're going to miss that tiny bit in the corner there. But let's see how we get on. So, lower seeder. Turn on seeder. Steering assist. We'll do 3 headlands this time. Yeah, why not? And off we go. We're now planting oats. It doesn't look like we're planting anything. Okay, we have planted. It's just hard to see the texture. We need to spread lime in here as well, by the way. I think we need to do lime on the other field as well, so we might do that before the end of the stream. We'll get this planted, then we'll spread lime. It is going to be so difficult to tell where we've been on this. Favourite tractor, says Arthur. My favourite tractor is a Challenger. Not this one, but the 75C, which is like one of the very first Challengers. Absolutely one of my favourite tractors. What map's that, says Lewis? This is Moss Valley. Are you a farmer IRL, says Arthur? I'm not, Arthur, no. As I've said before, I've spent a lot of time on farms because my granddad used to work on a farm. I used to go to work with him on the weekends, but I've never actually been a farmer myself. The class looks a lot bigger when it's actually in the field. It's only when you stand next to it that it looks really tiny. But it's a pretty decent sized tractor, honestly. Sad day to be a farmer, says Paddy. What happened, Paddy? Saul, do you need your roof replacing? I'm good, thanks. May as well drop you a follow. Thank you, Lewis. Thanks for following. Thanks for following as well, SJ. You look like that gardener, Mr. Bloom, if you know who I mean. I don't know who you mean, unfortunately, F, but thank you. I'll take your word for it. Well, she said, I've only done like 2 weeks of lambing. Much easier playing a sim. Yeah, honestly. Like I say, I've never worked on a farm, but I've spent time on farms because I used to go to work with my granddad. I've seen firsthand how taxing of a job it can be, and I'm kind of glad that I don't have to do it in real life, you know. Massive respect to the people who do this in real life every day, you know. But I don't think I could hack it. I really don't. What type of animals are on it? So the animals that you can get in this game, you can get cows, pigs, sheep, chickens, horses, goats, and water buffalo. The goats and water buffalo are new in this game. Look at the difference in speed versus when we're going up the field as well. It's mad. We're doing 11 right now, but as soon as we go up the hill, it slows right down to a crawl, like 5 miles an hour. Does it just drive for you, says Panda? So with steering assist, it does steer for you. You can only do that when you're actually in a field. It does the steering for you. You still have to actually accelerate. I've got my foot on the accelerate pedal right now. But yes, you can basically have hands-free steering when you're doing field work. Ignore that jackknife. I'm a very professional farmer. What are you drinking? I'm drinking 1901 recipe Iron Brew. One of my favourite soft drinks. Love Iron Brew, but this stuff is even better than regular Iron Brew. What do you want to be recognised as, says Yemen. I'll settle for being recognised as a person, Yemen, first and foremost. I would like to be recognised as a woman, but I think since some people can't even manage the person part, it might be a while before I get that. What's pronoun she, her? Thanks for asking, Yoan. I've just realised we haven't done a soil sample in this field either. I think we can probably do one after we've planted the field. But really we should have done one beforehand, because we're not like... Actually, I might do it now, before we plant the rest of the field, because we're not planting we're not putting down the optimal amount of fertilizer. We need to do a soil sample first to get like accurate soil data before it does the variable application. So we'll head to the shop, we'll grab a scout, and we'll do a bit of soil sampling, and then we'll carry on fertilizing the field. It might be a good idea to just buy the Azaria Scout, because I've leased it like 3 times now. It might just be better to just buy it. What map is this? The map's called Moss Valley. Thanks for the rose, Catman Charlie. There we go. Look at how safe this is. I told you I was going to drive safely today. I'm even using my indicators, which I don't often do in this game. Right. Where is it? There we go. What's this? Oh, yeah. Lease. What map? The map is, once again, called Moss Valley, based on Sheffield in South Yorkshire. Lucas says, no hate, but how come you're so masculine? Is that something you might want to change? Yes, it is something I want to change, as a matter of fact. The reason I'm masculine is because I was raised as a boy and I am male. And I'm not on hormones or anything like that at the minute, so I can't really help it. But it is absolutely something I intend to change. How old were you when you transitioned? I came out 4 years ago. I'm 26 now, so I was 22 then. Thanks for following, Jack. Okay. Just curious, why did you want to change gender? Interesting question. But first of all, obviously, I didn't change my gender. I was always this gender. I just didn't realize it. But I was always, I was always very uncomfortable living as a boy. You know, as a teenager, I had a lot of self-image issues, a lot of self-confidence issues, which is perfectly normal for a teenager. It's not really something that you question when you're a teenager. It's, you know, a perfectly normal thing. But when you get to adulthood and you still have those same sort of feelings, those same body image issues and self-confidence issues and stuff like that, that's when you start to really think that there might be something deeper behind it, something more deep-seated. And that's how I got down the path of questioning, you know, maybe I'm transgender, maybe I'd be more comfortable if I was a woman and if I lived as a woman. And after a lot of soul searching and a lot of personal reflection, I came to that conclusion, you know, that I would have been a lot happier if I was born a woman. I would have had a lot happier childhood if I'd lived as a woman. But now I do. I'm making up for lost time. And I'm very happy with I say decision, it's not a decision, but I'm very happy that I realised before it was too late, you know? Are you religious, says Matty? I'm not religious, Matty, no. Never too late for the tractor. Just joined, no context. I kind of thought it was funny. Okay, thanks, Goon469. If you don't mind me asking, are you trans? I am, Fred, yes. What's your opinion on the Latino interactions? Says Reese. My opinion is, I'm sick of hearing about her. She's a horrible person, and I don't see how that's relevant to me at all. Is that real hair? Yes, this is my real hair. I've been growing it for 5 years now. I'm very proud of it. It's all real. And there you go. There it is. Ta-da. Thanks for following Euronymous. Thanks for following Lucas and Laura Jane Evans. What gender do you date if you're trans? Just curious, says Twitch Cheese. I mean, I don't really date, because I'm not really interested in a relationship at the minute, but I'm not really fussy gender-wise. I'm into every gender. Thanks for following CB12. Thanks for following, Sean. Okay, nearly done with the soil sampling, then we can get back to the planting. Just a bit here in the middle. Thanks for following, Andy N. Hi, Sam Cliff, how are you doing? Okay, we can send the soil samples for analysis. If I can figure out which button. Oh, do I need to fold it first? Yep, there we go. Soil samples are now sent to laboratory for analysis. You will see the results on the soil map soon. Good. So we can take this back to the shop again, and then by the time we've done that, the soil sample should have been processed. And then if we start planting again, it should actually do the variable fertilizer application now. I'm going to put my hair back behind me because it's making my neck sweat. Sorry if that's TMI. But you've all had a good look. You've all got to see it. Are you sure you have any seed to plant? Says Con. You don't need to worry about me having seeds, Con. Don't worry. I've got plenty to go around. We're planting oats as well, by the way. Very appropriate. Oh, a bit fast there. What are you drilling? Says Arthur. We're doing oats at the minute. We've already got a field of barley. 1 second. Yeah, we've already planted a field of barley. We still need to do something with field 35, actually. Because we got field 35. We've harvested it, but we haven't got the next crop in. Can I join? It's single player only, Chris. Sorry. Right. Okay. What was I doing? Oh, I'm going to take this back to the farm. Can I join the live? No. Sorry, Chris. I never do lives with people. No offense, people. I just always do lives on my own. What map? The map is Moss Valley. JSFC16 says you deserve so much hate. Well, fortunately I get so much hate, so I'm getting what I deserve, really, aren't I? What country are you from? Says Celtic Nationalist. I am from England. From Yorkshire, specifically. Big up Yorkshire, says Andy N. Go on, Yorkshire. And where do you keep your toaster? In the kitchen? Do people keep their toaster in other places? Oh, soil sample's back already, and look at that. It's all sandy loam, apart from a tiny bit in the corner. This is going to be a really easy field to maintain, because the soil is pretty much identical all the way across the field. Nice one. So now we can get back to seeding, and we will now have variable application of fertilizer, which is very good. Do you play any other simulator games, says Harley? Yes, Harley, I do play Euro Truck. I haven't streamed it for a while, but I do play Euro Truck, and I am going to get back into streaming it maybe next month, if not August. I also play a lot of Train Sim. I've streamed that a couple of times, but it's not like the most popular game. But I do play a lot of that in my spare time. Big fan of Train Simulator. On the table or in the cupboard, on the side, on the kitchen counter. I don't think we're actually applying any fertilizer here, because I'm just looking at the field now, and by the looks of it, it's already got enough nitrogen. It's already green. Unless that's... No, is that the... Yeah, that is the nitrogen that's showing on the minimap. Wrong lane. There we go. Minecraft Monday, Farm Sim Friday, Trucking Tuesday, says Tazka. Yes, indeed. There's also Factorio Thursday. There isn't anything on Wednesday. There's Train Sim Saturday. There's a few different series that I haven't done for a while now. I want to bring back Factorio Thursday, actually. I've not played Factorio for a while. I'd love to get back into it. How much did the rig cost? The steering wheel and side panel, £230. The gear shifter here, which doesn't work with Farming Sim, but it does with Euro Truck, that was £80. And the handbrake here, which also doesn't work with Farming Sim, was £35. And then I've also got the beacon light here, which was a £5 from Facebook Marketplace. It's from the collector's edition of FS22. And the ignition lock here is £60. That's from the collector's edition of FS25. And if you want to know any more about my setup, you want to know how much it all costs and where it all comes from, do check out my second pinned video on my profile. It goes into absolutely everything: headphones, microphone, webcams, the desk itself, monitors, computer, keyboard, mouse, absolutely everything. If you want to know about the price of anything in my setup, check out that video. It'll tell you what you need to know. How bright is the beacon? Says Yunan Magir. Here it is. It's fairly bright. I think you can adjust the brightness. I think that's as bright as it goes, but you can turn it down as well. I'm going to turn it off while we're doing field work, though. How much costs the key? The key, once again, this is £60. If you get the collector's edition of Farming Sim 25, you get this ignition lock. That's also where these posters are from, and obviously you get the game itself. No doubt you'll probably be able to buy it separately on eBay in like a year's time. But if you want to buy it right now, you've got to get the collector's edition of Farming Sim 25. Where did the name Ashbridge come from, says Josh? Well, Ashbridge is my surname, Josh. The Ashbridge Industries name comes from when I was at university. I studied game design, and whenever we made like prototype games and stuff, Ashbridge Industries was just the name that I used for projects like that, and it's just stuck ever since, really. But Ashbridge is my surname. Okay, we've done the headlands now. We're just doing the rows. Just watched your second pin vid, and I really like your PC. Thank you very much, Mr. Quacks. I like my PC as well. It's very good. It is an upgrade. Before that, I had another PC, which was like half the price, but it was also like a lot slower, a lot cheaper, a lot lower quality. The PC I've got right now, amazing. It's not like super high-end gaming PC. It's not like, you know, you can play... I don't know, what's a big game? I don't know. The point I'm trying to make is it's not like a top-of-the-range PC, but it's very good, and it suits my purposes perfectly. Decent driving for a bird. Thanks, Mo's Farm. I try. Hey Queen, says Urs. How you doing, Urs? Welcome to the stream. It's very narrow, isn't it, as well? I know we were talking earlier about how this tractor is, like, really small. It's also really narrow. I didn't realise how narrow it was until now. Look at that. How long have you been doing Agricultural Dave? I don't know anyone called Agricultural Dave, and I've certainly not been doing him, if he does exist. Is that a mod that gives you the guides? No, Josh, this is base game in FS25. You don't need any mods. This is on console as well. If you have FS25, you can have the guidance steering in-game. It's the same button that you'd press to get your AI worker. What map is this? The map is called Moss Valley, based on Sheffield. Why do you find this fun? Just curious, says Harry. It's just the kind of thing I enjoy, Harry. I don't know. It's hard to explain why you find something fun. You know, like there's lots of things that I don't find fun that other people do. You know, I don't get why people find football fun. You know, to me it's really boring. But that's fine. You know, it's okay because different people enjoy different things. You know. I can't really explain what's fun about it. I just like it. I just like doing it. I just like playing these sorts of games, you know. Fair play to you. Thanks, Harry. Thanks. What console do you need to play this? Says Captain Flameheart. This is on PC, PS5, and the latest Xbox. Have you connected your gear stick to your steering wheel, or is it just a USB one? The gear stick is a USB. All of these are separate USB devices. I've got, believe it or not, I've got 18 different USB devices plugged into my PC right now. With all the webcams and microphone and all this stuff and controllers and headphones. Yeah, I've got 18 USBs connected right now. Is this Farming Sim? Says Billy. It is. It's Farming Sim 25. Do you like Clarkson's Farm? Says Josh. I do like Clarkson's Farm. Yeah, big fan of Clarkson's Farm. What got you into farming? Says Bobby Does TikTok. My granddad got me into farming. So when I was a kid, my granddad used to work on a farm. He used to take me to work with him every Saturday. It was the highlight of my week. I used to love going to work with him on a Saturday. Obviously, I wasn't doing the farming, I was just sat in the passenger seat, but that's what really first got me interested in it, and I've been hooked on it ever since. I did actually consider going to agricultural college after I finished my A-levels, but then I went to university instead. It was like that was like a turning point in my life, you know, where I could have gone in two very different directions. The choice was either agricultural college or a degree in computer science, and I went for the degree in computer science. But I could have gone the other way. I could have been a farmer, but I didn't. Is this your favourite game, says George? Not my favourite game, George, no. My favourite game is Abe's Exodus, which is a PS1 game from 1998. First video game I ever played, and still my absolute favourite. Do you have any animals on this save, says Yunan? Yes, we have 60 sheep. Which are probably going to starve to death because we don't have any grass to feed them right now, and I'm just waiting for it to be long enough to feed them. But we'll worry about that. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Is that just a PC mod? Them lines, says Richie. It's not a mod, Richie. This is base game. If you have Farming Sim 25, you have this by default. You don't need any mods to do it. It's the same controls that you use to set up your AI drivers, AI workers. Are you cultivating at the minute, says George? We're planting at the minute, George. So we're currently planting oats in this field. Do you play Minecraft, says Billy? I do, Billy. I play Minecraft every Monday if you want to come along to my Minecraft streams. Every Monday at 3 PM, I'm currently playing a mod pack called Create Ad Astra, which contains Create, the big techie mod with all the gears and cogs and stuff like that, and the Ad Astra mod, which is a remake of Galacticraft, and lots of other stuff as well, lots of mods in that playthrough, so if you want to join me for Minecraft Monday, by all means, please do. Tyler says, you're just lazy, turn that off and do it without the lines. I don't understand the logic here, Tyler, because literally the only thing that I'm not doing is turning the wheel. Like, everything else, I still have to manually turn around at the end of the field. I still have to have my foot on the accelerator. Literally the only thing that I'm not doing is turning the wheel when we're going up and down. So I really don't get the logic that this is lazy compared to doing it yourself. What are you planting? We're planting oats at the minute. Go faster. I can't, CR. I'm sorry. It's literally impossible. The speed limit is capped when you're using equipment. You need a Voltra, says Jack. I would love a Voltra, Jack. Big fan of Voltra tractors. God, it's 5:10 already. I didn't realise this field was going to take so long. We'll finish this field, then we'll do some lime, and then I think we might have to wrap it up there, to be honest. We'll see what happens. Oh, we could see about doing something in field 35 as well. If not, I'll make some plans off camera and we'll sort that out next week. Hey Paul, how you doing? You should transfer over to a different source. Not sure what you mean by that. And UFC. Why did you become a girl, says Leroy. I didn't, Leroy. I became a woman. Same thing, no. Nope. A girl is a child. A woman is an adult. You so lost, pal, says user lots of numbers. You know nothing about me. Literally nothing about me. This is sad, says Leroy. Then go somewhere else. Ask me anything, proceeds to get defensive over every question. I don't get defensive over every question. I get defensive over stupid questions, which a lot of them are. Do you know what you are? Yes, I'm a trans woman. Loving the stream. Thanks, Dagger. At least someone is. Because there's 74 people watching right now. I have to at least hold out some hope that some of you actually want to be here. Because, again, it genuinely baffles me, but so many people just keep watching, even though they clearly don't want to be here. Like, they'll come along and they'll be like, oh, why is this on my For You page? Keep scrolling. You're not chained, you're not manacled to the chair. Go watch something else. No one's stopping you. No one is forcing you to be here. Do you still have a sausage? Yes, I do. Did you chop it? No, I didn't. Hi, you had a good day, says Fred. I have, Fred. Thank you very much. Do you like girls or boys? I don't like girls or boys because, once again, girls and boys are children. I don't know how much clearer to make this. Girls and boys are children. We don't call adults girls and boys. We call adults men and women. It's very telling that whenever people are asked questions like, oh, are you a boy or a girl? They always very specifically say boy or girl. They never say man or woman. I think it says a lot about like the mental age of the people who ask these kind of questions. Are them things real or not, says HT. Nope, not at all. Completely fake. Okay, field is done. Do you plan on chopping the sausage? Nope. Farmer IRL, says Charlie. I'm not Charlie, no. Like I say, I've spent a lot of time on farms. As a kid, I grew up on and around farms, but I've never actually done it myself in real life. What's the map called? The map, Mackenzie, is called Moss Valley. Where'd you get the beacon from? The beacon is from the collector's edition of Farming Sim 22. I got it on Facebook Marketplace for a £5. So I would recommend just looking around. I don't know if you can even buy the collector's edition brand new anymore. I would imagine not, because it's a 3-year-old game at this point. But you can probably find a beacon floating around online somewhere. I've got to imagine they're probably quite easy to make as well. It's literally just like a big LED in there, I imagine. that just spins around. Well, it doesn't even spin around. It'll be like a circle of LEDs, and then to light up, they'll to like simulate the spinning. They'll light up in a sequence. If you got an Arduino and some knowledge of coding, you could probably make one of these with your own two hands in like an hour. What's the map called? Moss Valley. Thanks for following Lincoln Crawshaw. Do you rate FS25? I do, Corey. Yeah, I think FS25 is great. I really enjoy this game. Inspiring how you handle it, dealing with the small-minded individuals. Keep going. Love is greater than hate. Thank you, Wilbo Baggins. I do appreciate that. What am I even stuck on here? Okay, it might have been that tree, actually. Yeah, I've always been of the opinion that, you know, people who leave the kind of comments that people leave on my live streams are only doing it to get a reaction out of you. And if you give them that reaction, then they've won, basically. You know, it's best to just not give people the satisfaction. You know, don't feed the trolls, basically. When people come on my live streams and start commenting whatever shit they feel like commenting, it's, you know, it's much more productive to either just ignore them or have a bit of a laugh about it rather than letting it get to you, because that's what they want. They want it to get to you. So, you know, the best thing to do is to just not let it. Just don't let people bother you. And they really don't. Is this FS22, says Layla? No, this is FS25, Layla. How do you spell the map name? Moss, like M-O-S-S, Moss, and then Valley. This is too big. I was going to leave that there, but it's way too big for that shed. It's not a game, it's a simulation, technically. I mean, technically, it's not a simulation. It's I mentioned earlier in the stream, it's very much like a lot of like hardcore simulator geeks don't really consider Farming Sim to be a simulator because it's more of an arcade game. It's I mean, it calls itself a simulator, but it's not really. As a simulator, it doesn't really stand up, you know what I mean? It is more of a game than a simulator, even if it calls itself a simulator. Okay, this is not going to be the best place to leave the sewing machine, but I think it's the best that I can do for now. I think next time, actually, we might start sorting out the equipment a bit more and organising it a little bit more. But that'll do for now. Press start and show us the map. Here's the map if you want to see it. Again, it's called Moss Valley. It is crossplay. It's based on Sheffield in South Yorkshire. Lots of fields, lots of good variety in the sizes and stuff like that. Obviously, we're only a few episodes in, so we've only got a couple of fields at the minute. But really great map from what we've seen of it so far. Is it on console? Yes, it is crossplay. Digby says, did it hurt when it got chopped? Wouldn't know, hasn't happened, never will. Do you do trucking, says Kevin. I do, Kevin, yes. I do play a lot of Euro Truck Simulator. I do stream Euro Truck on Tuesdays, but I haven't done for a while. I've been taking a bit of a break from it. But I do plan on getting back into Euro Truck quite soon. So if you are interested in watching me play Euro Truck, then that will be coming back on Tuesdays in the near future. What's the name of the game? FS25. Thanks for following King Alpha 666. What are your pronouns? She, her. Thank you for asking, Thomas Tech. What species are you? Homo sapiens. Where in Sheffield? It's actually just south of Sheffield. Technically, it is in Derbyshire. If we just look at the map right now again, this up here is Gleadless Town End. And you can see there the Supertram down to Halfway. So we are just south of the city. Technically, we are on the Derbyshire side of the border, so I have been lying this whole time when I said that the map was in South Yorkshire. It is technically in Derbyshire, but it's close enough. Pronouns are attention seeker, says Ollie Berg. Well, clearly it's working, Ollie, because here you are. Thank you very much for giving me the attention that I so desperately crave. What are your adjectives, says A. Big, purple, fruity, definitely fruity. I don't know. That's it. Big, purple, and fruity. There you go. There's my answer to that question. What's the name and the number of multiplayer? I'm on single player, Lewis, but once again, the game is Farming Sim 25. Okay, let's take a look at the map. So field 35 here. We need to do something with it. Oh, hang on. I'm on the wrong menu there. Which menu is it? There we go. Okay, so this field here. This is our field. We recently harvested the sunflowers, but it now needs something else planting. It also needs weeding, it needs lime, it needs fertilizer, it needs pretty much everything doing to it, and we are already in March. So, I think we might leave this until next week. We'll do April and May next week. If we can get the field ready in April, then we can plant something in May. So May is going to be either corn, sorghum, or soybeans, which are all pretty good. Sorghum, maybe we'll do sorghum actually. So if we can get the field ready in April, we can plant sorghum in May, and then that'll be ready to harvest in September. And the oats are going to be ready in July, by the way. They're going to be ready very soon. Is that real hair? Says Aaron Howell. Yes, Aaron, this is my real hair. I've been growing it for about 5 years now. There it is. You should try Europe Truck Simulator 3. There isn't a Euro Truck Simulator 3, oh Backen. There is a Euro Truck Simulator 2, which I already play quite a lot. Oh, lime. That was the thing that we did need to do before the end of the stream. We need to spread lime. So let's head to the shop. We need... It'll be under fertilizer spreaders. There we go. And this is the one that I'm going to go for. This is the classic fertilizer spreader. Or lime spreader in this case. I don't think we need narrow tyres. We will get the extra wide spreading unit. Redstein tyres. We'll get the extension as well because it does use up lime very quickly. And then we'll switch to the New Holland. We'll head to the shop and pick it up. Do you also play BeamNG Drive? I have played BeamNG Drive, yes. Only recently, because I've only just gotten a computer that was powerful enough for it. But I have recently played BeamNG Drive for the first time, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's more of a sandbox, though, you know. It's not really a game, you know. Which is okay. But I was kind of a bit lost as to what to actually do in the game, you know. What girl sits and willingly plays Euro Truck and farming games? Woman, first of all. Not girl. Girl means child. Woman means adult. Please try to understand this. And second of all, I do. I am the woman who sits and plays Euro Truck and farming games. Ooh, nearly missed my indicator there. Luca says, you know what, have a good life, bro, just remember there's always time. There is always time, Luca. There's always time to become a better person and to sit down and listen and try to understand and just try to be a little bit kinder to those around you. So I do hope you'll take your own advice there, Luca. Try and consider that trans people are just people. I'm not threatening you. I'm not doing anything negative to affect you in any way. I'm literally just here playing Farming Sim. So yeah, I just wish people would just sit down for a minute and think, is this actually hurting me in any way? Is this actually hurting anyone that I know in any way? The answer is no, by the way, it's not. And if it's not hurting you, then why do you care? Why are you so bothered? I'm going to get 8 of these. I don't know if the tractor... I don't know if the trailer will hurt all of them. Will hold all of them, sorry. Hurting the NHS, so, says Macpacker. How am I hurting the NHS, Macpacker? I have had no surgery, no hormones, and even when I do, I won't be doing it through the NHS. So, tell me, how am I personally hurting the NHS? Hi Saul, says Adam. How are you doing, Adam? Oh yeah, I forgot. I've got a mod on as well that lets you load multiple bags at once. So rather than having to press the button again for every single bag, it'll just load all of the bags in one go, which is very handy. What wheel is that? This is the Logitech G heavy equipment wheel, which I got as part of a bundle with the side panel as well. Are they real or fake, says TikTok Police? They're fake. Big old fake titties. Sorry. Maybe one day they'll be real, but not today. What's your favourite game of all time, says Kevin Lutt. My favourite game of all time is Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. Abe's Exodus, sorry. Abe's Odyssey is good as well, but Abe's Exodus is my favourite. It's a PS1 game from 1998, and it was the first video game I ever played in my entire life, so it has a very special place in my heart. How do I put the lid down? Oh, I just drive away. I used to play that game, says Connor. It's such a great game. I absolutely love the entire Oddworld series, but Abe's Exodus in particular, absolutely fantastic game. Sam said, I don't get that, but it made me laugh when you said that. Fair enough. Thanks, Sam. Now, I don't think we'll be able to spread lime in field 31 because the crops will be too fully grown. But we can definitely get some in 32. And I think that'll be the last job for today, because I don't know what else. I don't think we'll really have time for anything else. Have you crashed yet, says Sam? A couple of minor collisions today, Sam, but nothing serious. What made you become trans, says Frosty Vault. Big question, Frosty Vault. I do have a video about this if you want to learn more, because it's a very big question. It's not really the sort of question that you can just, you know, drop an answer on the spot. But to give you some idea... I was always very self-conscious as a kid, very, you know, had a lot of body image issues and stuff like that. I hated a lot of aspects of myself, physically speaking, which is normal for a teenager. You know, teenagers tend to go through that period of anxiety and self-hatred, you know, that's... That's a pretty normal thing for most teenagers, so you don't really question it when you're a teenager. But when you get to adulthood and you still have those feelings of discomfort and you just don't feel right in your own body, that's when you start to think that there might be something more serious behind it, and that's when you start to ask yourself those sorts of questions. Would I be happier if I'd have been born as a girl, and if I'd been raised as a girl, would I be happier now? And I think that's the question that every trans person at some point will find themselves asking. Would I be happier if I was born this way instead? And once you get to ask, once you finally get the answer to that question, that's when you realise that you're transgender. And again, I do have a bigger video on this if you want to hear it in a bit more detail, because it is a very big question with a very complicated answer. So please do consider checking out my pinned video if you want to know more about it. But that's just a basic idea. That's just a basic... It's a simplification of what actually happened, but it gives you some idea, What's AMA mean? Ask me anything, nonchalant dude. Multiplayer or solo? We're solo at the minute, Adam. Keep doing you, thank you very much. Kevin says, if you don't mind me asking, does the hate ever get to you? Not at all, Kevin. Not at all. It did at first, The first time that you receive a negative comment, of course it does get to you a bit. But I've been online now long enough that it really just doesn't faze me at all. I've been on TikTok long enough that I've heard every single insult under the sun 1,000 times. Nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing is, nothing's original anymore. Anything that you can say to me, I've already been told it 50 times, so it really just doesn't have any effect on me anymore. It really doesn't bother me at all. Can you go through the bushes in this game? You can on this map, yes. Not on every map. This map does have no collision on the bushes, so you can actually just drive straight through them. Obviously, I try not to for realism's sake, but you can drive straight through the bushes, yes. What map is this? The map is called Moss Valley. Are you running precision farming? I am indeed, Adam, as you can see on the top left of the game there. I've got the precision farming pH value. I always play with precision farming. I love precision farming. Great mod. Adds a bit more realism to the game. So yes, precision farming is on. Why are you in a skirt, says Ruben. Not a skirt. It's a dress. Where did you get the name Ashbridge Industry from, says Lucas. The name Ashbridge Industries, first of all, Ashbridge is my surname. Ashbridge Industries is kind of my brand name, as it were. It dates back to when I was at university, studying game design. Whenever we did like projects at university, we had to put like a company name on them, and for me, I always used Ashbridge Industries, and the name kind of stuck. So whenever I do anything like official online, I always use that name. So that's how it came to be the name that I used for TikTok and YouTube. Hi YouTube, by the way. What other games are you looking to start playing again, says Draydog. I am looking to bring back Factorio and Euro Truck very soon. Not at the same time, because my schedule would be way too busy then. But I do want to play Factorio and Euro Truck again. I'd like to play Train Sim again as well, because it's been ages since we played Train Simulator, and I've actually been working on a mod for Train Sim. Because as well as playing games, I do also like to do a little bit of creation. And I'm working on a mod for Train Simulator at the minute, which is an extension to the Northeast England route by DP Simulations. I'm currently working on modelling Horden Station in Blender, which is incredibly boring and no one wants to hear about it. But if you are interested, It would be nice to play Train Sim again so that I could show the progress that I've made on the mods that I'm working on. So we'll see if that happens. Oh, I think we've already done the headlands. Did you used to do Minecraft videos years ago, says Ian Frank? I've only been on TikTok for about a year, Ian, but I do play Minecraft, yes. I play it every Monday on stream. Are you actually trans? Yep. Which pronouns do you prefer? She, her. Thanks, Adam. Are you interested in farming or just like the game, says Kevin Let? I'm interested in farming. I'm not a farmer, but I've always been interested in that sort of thing, so... I am Frank, sorry. Oh, yeah, sorry if I said your name wrong there. Wouldn't hack it, says John. No, I mean, I literally said that earlier in the stream. I actually used those exact words. I said I probably couldn't hack it as a farmer. I definitely wouldn't want to do it in real life. Massive respect to actual farmers who do this every day, you know, but I could not. It couldn't be me, honestly. Massive respect, again, to farmers everywhere. I couldn't. I just couldn't see myself actually doing it in real life. I don't think I could stick it. Too busy painting your nails? Yep, look at all that paint. Look at all that paint. Let me tell you something, DC. I have actually never painted my nails. I've never once painted my nails in my entire life. Fun fact. Be Botmal, says Killian Mooney. What's Botmal, Killian? The funniest thing is that you spelled it correctly. You said be normal, and then you've sent the same comment again, but you spelled it wrong. What? Do you still have your sausage? Yep, I do indeed, DC. Thanks for asking. Roadcraft looks good, says Dagger. I still want to try Roadcraft, Dagger. Yes, I did promise that I would play Roadcraft on stream. We'd do like a first look. I still haven't bought it yet, but I absolutely do want to try Roadcraft. You know how much I love Mudrunner and SnowRunner, so absolutely I would like to try Roadcraft on stream. Draydog says, what do you call an angry dwarf? A red dwarf? If you watch comedy, you know what I mean. I do, yes. Big fan of Red Dwarf, Draydog. In fact, if you've watched my videos, I do sometimes... I have snuck a couple of Red Dwarf references into some of my TikTok videos over the years. Well, over the year. It's only been 1 year. You still grow chest hair, though. I do indeed, yes. I do, unfortunately, have to shave my chest hair every now and then. Like once a week, normally. And obviously I shave my facial hair every day. And my legs, if I feel like it. Once in a blue moon. And that is that. Now, I did miss a little bit down here, I think. Oh no, maybe not. Ah yeah, there's a little row here. Just finish this bit off. And we should now have... Oh yes, look at that. Perfect pH everywhere. Now I don't know if we'll be able to do field 31, but we can go and take a look. Whoa, what's... You drive like a girl. Thanks, William. I will take that as a compliment. Okay, this might actually not be too bad. What do you do for a living, says Dublin Sporters? At the minute, Dublin Sporters, I am temporarily out of work. My latest job was at a print shop as a graphic designer. So doing like business cards, pamphlets, posters, stuff like that for local businesses, which has given me some great experience with various graphic design software. What I'm really looking for though is something game dev related. I have a degree in game design. That's really what I want to be doing with my life, is working for a game development studio. I'd love to be a solo developer as well, but obviously that's a very difficult thing to get into. Okay, nope, never mind. Crop destruction is going to destroy the barley there, so we cannot spread lime on the barley. Glad I caught that before we went too far into the field. So we'll go to the shop, we'll pick up the lime that's still there, we'll take this back to the farm, and then it'll probably be time to end the stream at that point. Thanks for following, by the way, Callum's Farm. I thought I seen you on the bus yesterday, says Dublin Supporters. I mean, I didn't catch the bus yesterday, Dublin Supporters. And also, do you even live in the same town? Thanks for following, Richie Lewis. Did you say it's already on Farming Sim 25 The Line? Yes, the drive lane, the GPS steering is on the base game. You don't need any mods for that. Jake Cushway says it's difficult for they-thems these days, isn't it? It is difficult for they-thems these days, Jake. I mean, I wouldn't know because I'm not non-binary. But yeah, I imagine it's probably not easy when half of the country thinks that you literally don't exist. This looks so therapeutic. Gonna have to give it a go, says Sat. I would recommend Sat. I mean, even if you're not massively interested in farming, it is a very relaxing game. You can sort of you get out what you put in. It's very much that sort of game. You can do, you can do the more involved stuff like spreading lime and the precision farming and stuff like that. But if you want to keep it simple, you can just do the simple planting and harvesting cycle. So it's very much one of those games you can do as much or as little as you like. User says, whatever your passport says, that's what you are. Funny you should say that, User, because I literally am currently waiting for my new passport to arrive. I recently applied for my new passport, which will say female on it when it does arrive. Obviously, it takes a while for the processing to be done and stuff like that. But yes, I agree. Whatever it says on your passport, that's what you are. So as soon as I get my new passport that says female on it, I'm a female, legally. Simple as that. Go out and do real farming, you Gretin. What's a Gretin, Bob? Did you mean cretin, by any chance? I always get pissed off with FS22, says Carpy Cal. It can be frustrating. Like I say, it's one of those games where you get out what you put into it, but if you try too much too soon, if you try to manage too many resources at once, it can get a bit frustrating. Oh, I'll tell you what I could do. I think we might have enough time for me to go up to field 35 and spread lime on there. So let's go and do that, and then we'll end the stream. Have you ever considered playing or streaming Flight Sim? No, Zimps. I'm not really interested in planes. I never have been. I like trucks, trains, and tractors, but that's it. I've never had any interest in planes. So it's just never really been anything that I'd want to do, to be honest. Unfortunately, Keir Starmer is for this, not against. I mean, I don't. Do you know who Keir Starmer is? You think Keir Starmer likes trans people? Okay. What would you do if World War III was to happen? I'd kill myself, Dylan. Because if World War III does happen, it will almost definitely be nuclear. And if it comes to a choice of just killing myself on day one or living in a nuclear wasteland, I'll kill myself. So there we go. If World War III ever did actually happen, I'd just kill myself. Straight away, day one, the day war is declared. That's it. I'm gone. I'm peacing out. Don't like Fallout games then, says Gamma. I love Fallout games, Gamma, but that's part of the reason why I would be peacing out on day one, because let me tell you, the apocalypse is not going to be as glamorous as it is in Fallout. It's going to be so much worse. So you wouldn't fight, says Dylan. Nope, I would not fight. I absolutely am not going to fight for a country that doesn't want me to exist. Why would I? Why would I fight for a country that's not going to fight for me? This country could not care less about me, and I could not care less about it. So, and as Gamma says as well, you can't fight a bomb. You know, sticks and stones are not going to do much good against nuclear explosives. So, I don't think anyone's going to be fighting. I think the fighting is going to be over in the first 10 minutes, after which 90% of the population will be dead. And the remaining 10% will die of radiation poisoning in a few weeks' time. Like, it always baffles me when people are like, so, like, what are you going to do when World War III starts? Like, I'm going to die. We're all going to die. If World War III ever happens, we are all going to die. Like, nobody's surviving it. You think people are going to survive a nuclear world war? No, it's not happening. My plans are, I'll either die on day one, or I'll die 10 minutes later from a nuke anyway. Anyway, let's keep the topic light, shall we? Let's stop talking about nuclear war and suicide. Let's let's keep it a bit more positive, you know. Let's lighten it up a little bit. When did you join the dark side, says JZ24SS? 4 years ago. Keeping it a bit lighter, why farming sim, says Hayes. I just like farming, Hayes. I'm not farming in real life, but I've always been interested in farming. It's a great game, it's a really fun game. It's a very relaxing game, and, you know, I always say I like to play nice, relaxing games on stream because, you know, the whole point of streaming is that you can read chat and interact with your audience and stuff like that, you know, so I don't like playing games that are too intensive because then you don't have time to interact with the viewers, right? Whereas with a game like this, it's a lot more relaxed, so I have time to actually talk to you and read questions and respond to comments and stuff. When you're older, you'll regret this, says Dylan. No, I won't. I categorically will not regret this. I've always said, even if in 10 years' time I'm like, maybe I'm not transgender, I still won't regret having done this. Because it's been such a transformative experience for me. Like, even if I wake up tomorrow morning and I'm like, actually, maybe I'm not trans, I still won't regret the things that I've done already. So no, I absolutely will not regret this, ever. What made you want to do it? Says H. Big question, H. Like I say, if you want to know more, please do check out my pinned video where I talk more in depth about it, because it's a very big question. But it was a combination of things, you know. I've always, as a kid, I had a lot of body image issues, a lot of self-consciousness issues. It was, you know, it's a recognized illness, right? Says Power Games. No, it's not. As of the DSM-6, being trans is no longer considered a mental illness. Gender dysphoria is considered a mental problem, which I don't have, by the way. I don't have gender dysphoria. But the recommended treatment for gender dysphoria is to medically transition. So if you actually care about trans people's mental health, you would support them transitioning, because that's the recommended treatment. Anyway, back to the question. Like I was saying, I had a lot of self-conscious, a lot of body positivity, a lot of body image issues, a lot of anxiety. I was very self-conscious about a lot of different aspects about myself. And I, you know, as an adult, I started to question whether it might be something more serious. You know, start to ask myself if I'd be more happy as a woman. And basically the answer is yes, I would be happier, and I am happier. And I'm happier now than I've ever been in my life, which is why whenever people are like, you're going to regret it, or you've made the wrong decision, like, I know I haven't, because I'm literally happier than I'm happier than I thought it was even possible to be, you know? I genuinely mean that. Like, I did not ever think that I could be as comfortable and happy with myself as I am now. All of that self-consciousness, all of that anxiety, all of those body image issues, they're gone. I don't feel them at all anymore. I have absolutely no issues with self-confidence or body image or anything like that. I'm more comfortable with who I am now than I've ever been before, which is how I know that it's genuine and that that it's never going to change. Thanks for following Keel, by the way. Stop yapping, no one cares about you, says Tom. Well, I was answering a question, Tom. So someone literally asked me, and that was my answer. 30 push-ups, says Jaden. Look at these noodle arms. I couldn't do 3 push-ups. I literally could not do 3 push-ups. I'm not too bad at sit-ups, though. I've got a strong core. I could do sit-ups. But push-ups, if I try to do more than 1 push-up, my arms will literally break like matchsticks. Have you ever seen The Fly? There's a scene in The Fly, the Jeff Goldblum film. There's a scene in The Fly where he hand wrestles with someone, and he literally snaps the person's wrist completely off. That's what would happen to me if I tried doing press-ups. Are you a farmer in real life? I'm not, Henry, no. I've spent a lot of time on farms. I grew up on and around farms. My granddad worked on a farm, and he used to take me to work with him on the weekends, which is why I'm interested in it and why I enjoy this sort of thing. But I've never actually done any farming myself. I've never like been behind the wheel, you know. Thanks for following Ollie Pierce. Okay, field 2 for field 35 is now done. What's the aim of the game, says Henry? The aim of the game is just to farm and to build up your farm, you know. Expand, make money, buy more fields, buy more equipment, and just keep going until you get bored of it. Thanks for following Phil McCracken. Oh, okay, that's a good one. I didn't notice that one, actually. That was sneaky. You almost got me there. Well, you did get me because I read the name out. But thank you anyway, Phil McCracken. Great username. I appreciate it. Join the army, become a man, says Jaden. Fun fact, Jaden, the first trans woman to get surgery in this country was an RAF veteran. And the first trans woman to get surgery in the United States was a US Air Force veteran. So I really don't think that being in the army would stop me from being trans. Why TikTok versus Twitch, says Adam. This is just where I found my audience, Adam. I mean, I started on TikTok nearly 4 years ago now. I started posting piano videos. And I really just did that for the first couple of years. It was only last year that I started branching out and doing other stuff, like my discussion videos, Lego videos, live streaming, that kind of stuff. But I did it here on TikTok because that was just where I already was posting my piano stuff. And like I say, this is where I found my audience. You know, I've got nearly 7,000 followers here on TikTok. I wouldn't want to just move somewhere else and start again. I'm happy. I'm happy staying here on TikTok. I think this is my place. You know. Do you take hormones? Says Call of Duty's Life. Not at the minute, Call of Duty's Life. I do intend to. I do want to do HRT at some point, but I am not really in a financially stable enough position for that yet. Because I want to do it privately. I have no intention of going through the NHS. I don't want to wait 8 years just to be, you know, put on the list for hormones. I'd rather do it privately, which is why I want to make sure that I'm in a bit better of a position financially before I do that. But HRT definitely is something that I intend to do. What map are you playing on, says Dean? This is Moss Valley. Is it Farming Sim 22? It's 25 PS, Ollie PS. What's your opinions on Lily Tino? Don't like her. Simple as that. This question, I don't get why people ask this question though. You know what I mean? Because she's an objectively horrible person, but I don't understand why you even have to ask. Like it should be assumed, right? It's always like, because she's transgender, obviously every trans person must have an opinion on her, which doesn't make sense to me, you know. Like, there are bad people in every group, you know. Every group will have a few bad apples. That's life. Do you have a cheeky tug now and then, says Dylan? That is between me and my internet service provider, Dylan. What's your sexuality in terms of the gender you're attracted to, says Kira. I would consider myself pansexual, Kira. I'm attracted to anyone of any gender, really. I'm not fussy. I do have a preference for women, definitely. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't also attracted to men, you know. And everything else, non-binary people. I'm not fussy. Gotta go now, but keep it up. Thanks, Ollie. Thanks for joining. We love a pansexual queen, says Kira. Thanks, Kira. What time are you off, says Catman Charlie? Now, actually, Charlie. We're just about to finish up. I'm just parking up the lime spreader, and then we're going to wrap up this stream. We've done good today, though. We've bought a new field. We've planted some oats. We've spread lime. We still haven't managed to feed the sheep yet, but I will figure that out. I promise. Do you play other games? Says Pakak. Sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I do, yes. In terms of games that I stream, my current schedule is Minecraft on Monday, Farming Sim on Friday, and Munch's Odyssey on a Sunday. I am going to be streaming tomorrow. I'm going to be playing some Unpacking and Terra Nil. And that's going to be a late night stream. Well, it's going to be 5 PM till 8 PM, so later than my usual streams, because it's the last Saturday of the month. Have you had any surgeries, or are you waiting until you're financially stable, says Call of Duty? I don't actually want to have any surgeries, Call of Duty. Like I say, hormones definitely is something that I want to do, but I've never been interested in surgery of any kind. I'm perfectly happy with what I've got going on downstairs. I've never intended to change that. It's just not something that I consider necessary for me, for my transition personally, you know. Possessed says Crime Simulator on Steam could be a good one to play for a stream. It's pretty popular. Thanks for the recommendation, Possessed. If you have any other simulation games, by the way, I'd love to do like a Sim Saturday or something and just play it like try a different simulator every week. So if you've got any more recommendations for those sort of games, I'm not going to sleep just yet. Then you ain't transitioning. The fuck says, so fucking funny. Funny you should say that, so fucking funny, because I actually address this exact comment in my latest video, which you can go and check out if you're interested. I've had this so many times. As soon as I say I'm not interested in having surgery, there will always be someone who's like, well, you're not really trans then. You don't know what being trans means. You don't actually understand what being trans means if you think that not having surgery makes someone not trans. So please go and check out that video. Hopefully it'll help you to understand a little bit better. But sorry if that came across as rude, but I'm so... I get this comment so often. Like, oh, if you don't have surgery, you're not trans. Which is just plainly wrong. And it just comes from misunderstanding what being trans means, you know. But check out that video if you want to know more. Anyway... that is it for today. Don't go away. I am going to do the sum up, so please stay where you are if you're interested. There is no more farming from this point, so you can go now if that's all you're here for. But I'm going to switch to the big cam, and there we go. I'm going to pop the chat back in. How much does the setup cost, says Henry. I also have a pinned video about that, Henry, if you're interested. It's the second video on my profile. My entire setup is about £2,000. But if you want to know more about specific stuff, like the wheel, the monitors, the gear shifter, microphone, headphones, keyboard, computer, anything like that, if you want to know how much it all costs, check out that video. It'll tell you everything you need to know, where it all came from, and how much it all cost. So anyway, that is where I'm going to leave it for today. Thank you for joining. It's been an incredible stream. We have passed 6.5k, which is incredible. Thank you so much. 6,500 followers. I am hoping we might be able to reach 7k this month. Well, not this month, but July. That would be incredible. So, you know, recommend the stream, recommend videos to your friends if you think they'd be interested. If you haven't already followed but you've enjoyed the stream, then please do. It really does help me out. Like I say, I am trying to get to 7k and eventually 10k. But yeah, I just hope you enjoyed. It's been a good stream. We got quite a lot done. Next stream is going to be tomorrow evening at 5 PM. We're going to be playing some Terra Nil and some unpacking if all goes to plan. So do feel free to join me for that if you're interested. What else? Oh yes, I just posted a video yesterday, a trans discussion video. It's about full transition. As I was just talking about just a few minutes ago, I wanted to make a video about this idea of full transition and why it doesn't really exist, and you know what transition actually means and how everyone does it differently. So if you want to know more about that, if you want to see my latest trans discussion video, it's the latest non-pinned video on my profile. Please do go and give that some love. If you want to follow me on Instagram and Blue Sky, you can do that. There's links in my bio. I don't really post there very often, but you can check those out if you're interested. If you want to subscribe on YouTube, hello everyone over on YouTube if you're watching right now. I'm always live on YouTube and TikTok at the same time, so if you want to watch my streams in landscape mode, you can watch them over on YouTube instead. Discord, you can join the Discord if you want to chat with me or you want to know when I'm posting and when I'm going live and stuff like that. You can do that as well. And, of course, there's Patreon. Thank you very much to Kate, Sophie, Jess, Daniel, and Danny, my wonderful Patreon supporters. If you want to support if you want to get your name on this board and support me on Patreon, there's a link in my bio. It costs £1 a month, just £1 for the whole month. You get a shout out on stream. You get behind the scenes content, outtakes, bloopers, you know, alternate takes, uncut footage, stuff like that. Occasionally you get early access videos as well. So there's a few nice little benefits for that. So again, please do consider checking that out if you're interested. If not, totally fine. But thank you for being here all the same. I've had a wonderful time. I will see you tomorrow night at 5 PM for an evening with Saul. That's it. Thanks everyone, and goodbye. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And thank you to everyone over on YouTube as well. I hope you've had a wonderful stream. I've really enjoyed it. Not really much to say today, so that's all. I'll see you tomorrow for Terra Nil and Unpacking. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye. One of my birds has fallen. I'll fix this off stream. Bye-bye.